8 Barnstable, England residents are visiting their twin city of Barnstable and the surrounding Cape Cod area. We have details from this week's welcoming ceremony on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Wednesday, October 7th, 2015. I'm Sarah Mannel. Town Manager Tom Lynch welcomed 8 Barnstable, England residents this week during a ceremony held in honor of their trip.
For our new visitors from England that we didn't have a chance to meet before when we visited Barnstable, I want to bring you warm, and hopefully it's going to warm up, a warm welcome. My name's Tom Lynch. I'm the town manager here in the town of Barnstable. Last year, several of us here had the opportunity to go over to Barnstable to celebrate our 375th, and it's when we met the Gracies and we had a wonderful dinner and talked all about, their Twin City adventures that they have around. We got a lot of, we learned a lot when we went over there, and one of the things we learned, and you might see in the pictures here, and for those of you who don't know this, the mayor and the deputy mayor wear very nice medallions, and they wore those for our as part of our trip. So when we got back and we were all talking and sharing about our adventures, Lynn Poyant presented me with my own medallion. So I have to wear this here for because I'm officially now your greeter. So that was fun. But so there it is. That's a real ruby, I'll tell you. We don't have the vault like you, but we put this in our safe. So I thought that what I might do is I'll tell you a little bit about some of the recollections I have from the trip, and if there are others here who want to just chip in, we can just have a little gathering about that. First, as you know, Lou Cataldo, who was very big with all of our Twin City, I think he started that here and created the sign, and there are a lot of, in this back showcase, there are quite a few of our Barnstable, somewhere there is quite a few of our Barnstable exhibits that we had back and forth, that we've exchanged back and forth when there've been the formal visits from the mayor and councils and the clerk and all of that. So he recently passed away, so your trip is rather timely in that he always enjoyed those visits. The thing that impressed me with our trip was not how different we are, but really how the similarities that are out there. The very first thing that I noted when Jennifer and I, were walking around the town that first night, was we're at the River Tar and we're looking out, and it's just a big, beautiful river, and we're thinking, gee, if this were on the Cape, there'd be boats going back and forth and tour boats going up and down, and we couldn't quite understand why you didn't have as vigorous a waterfront as we did. And then we got up the next morning and the tide was out, and you all know what I'm talking about. That river became a creek. And but that was part of your history, and that you had, you once could have, fairly tall ships come in, and part of the shipbuilding and all that. And Barnstable had a lot of that going on here, where when you see the Hyannisport area, we had, clipper ships come in and a railroad going down to that. And that business all kind of left as it moved to other deeper ports. But we found, the food service different, and that, we kept trying to give someone a tip and they acted like they didn't even understand what that was. And now I'm hearing from the former town clerk that she's now asking, how do I give a tip here? Is that what you were telling? So, and you explain, when you explain that to the waitress to ask her how to do it, and she said, well, you leave half of the bill as a tip. That she was exaggerating a little bit there. Was she kind? But I noted that, you had beautiful bike trails that we took advantage of, as do we here on the Cape. We've taken old rail trails and made those up and down, and we're still trying to do more of that in our town and down to Sandwich.
Town Clerk Ann Quirk says getting the chance to speak with residents and municipal leaders from our twin city was a great experience.
I did get to talk to a few of you, which was really kind of exciting to hear from people who've worked in municipal government as well. I know that you've do probably a lot of the same things that we do here, and I was so disappointed that we had an election during the stay that everyone was over in Barnstable, England, because that's why I couldn't go. So hopefully the next time it won't be during an election and I'll be able to go over. But I'm sorry that I missed it. I love England. I've been to England once before, to London and Stonehenge and Bath and a few other places. It's really gorgeous. So, and what I really liked about it was that everything was so green. And you don't think about that. You think the cities and all that, but when you get over there, and I went over in November, and everything here, we'd lost all of our leaves and everything had turned color. It was still very green over there. It was very lovely. So I'm sorry I missed it. And another thing that came up was that you have your yards, your gardens are just so beautiful. And it was pointed out to me that not a lot of people here spend time in their gardens. And I said, that's because we all have to work in order to live here. So I'm thrilled to see all of you and to get a chance to chat with you. And I hope you have a fabulous stay. And I look forward to the next time so that I can go.
Alan Gracie is the president of the Barnstable Twinning Association. He says while they are far from home, there are so many reminders of home on Cape Cod.
Thank you, Tom, for your very interesting and enlightening talk about Barnstable, USA. We have only been here for 24 hours, but already we have a feeling of nostalgia at seeing all these familiar names. You have Truro, you have Dartmouth, you have Barnstable, of course, you have Bridgewater, all the others. And it does remind us of the fact that 300 years ago, the courageous settlers set out from the West Country and set up home here for the first time in New England, and named places after their hometowns, and it is a nice feeling. Yes, there are similarities. Barnstable has its tourist trade. Our tourist season is fairly short. It's really July and August, but yes, we don't have the increase in population that you have, but it's an important contributor to Barnstable's economy. We do have thriving light industry, light engineering as well, and we do have chemicals and pharmaceuticals. We are on the west coast. We have the prevailing winds from the Atlantic, which are very clean. So we have chemical companies making actual pills and the like, and we also have the firms making the filters, which are used by the chemical company because they also need very clean. So that's an attribute which we take advantage of. But like you, we do feel a bit isolated. We are very dependent upon the main road, which is not a dual carriageway, regrettably. And so the Prime Minister, Mr. Cameron, has promised that he personally will make it into a dual carriageway, so all should be well.
The Barnstable visitors spent the day on Nantucket yesterday and are heading up to Provincetown today. Before they head back over the pond, they'll be treated to a historical tour of Barnstable with help from historian Nancy Shoemaker. Well, be sure to tune into our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will have our weekly golf segment. We'll learn more about the recently enacted single-use plastic bag ban. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.